Good evening, and welcome to this edition of The List on UWW-TV. I'm Alex Monti, alongside Nazir Spencer. For the next few minutes, we'll present our top 5 sports stories of the week and discuss why they made the top 5. Did your top 5 make our list? Let's find out. At number 5, the NFC North Division has been all over the place, with the Lions ending up on top after Week 4 with a record of 3-1. Meanwhile, the Packers are 2-2, and the Vikings are off to a slow start at 1-3, with the Bears sitting at 0-4. Nazir, what have you made of the NFC North this year, and how do you see it shaping out?
Well, you Packer fans are not going to like what I'm about to say, but the Lions own this division right now. The Packers are looking great so far. Jordan Love's proven himself a little bit, but the Lions have the North by the throat right now. And the Vikings, I understand they started 1-3. Tomorrow's the start of Week 5, but the Vikings and the Bears have not proven anything. The Vikings have beat no one really. The Panthers are not someone that I would consider a playoff contender right now. And the Bears, they're simply just too young. The Vikings have to figure it out with Kirk Cousins and JJ, Justin Jefferson, who is pretty much the best wide receiver in the whole entire football league, which is very concerning at a record of 1-3. So, it's all up to the Packers and Lions. The Lions are looking really well, and the Packers, hopefully they have something to prove this upcoming Monday against the Raiders.
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, they definitely have been up in the air throughout this season. I mean, the Lions, they've definitely established themselves ever since Week 1, really. And then with the Vikings, it's just been a lot of turnovers. That's been, their greatest ailment. They have some of the pieces still on offense. They just don't have quite as much luck as they did last year. And then when it comes to the Bears, it's just a surprise. I really think they've managed to get worse.
Yep.
At number 4, the MLB playoffs are underway, with the 3rd-seeded Brewers facing the 6th-seeded Diamondbacks in the wild card round. Nazir, how far do you see the Brewers going this year in the postseason, and what is your prediction for who will be in the World Series?
Well, I'm not too much of a big baseball guy, but with my research that I've done, and with the game that we saw last night, it was the most Milwaukee game I've ever seen. We blew that game. We had 3 full bases and we blew it. And we lost 4-3, but tonight I think we're going to prove it, and we're gonna go on and win the series. And then we got to play the Dodgers next round, which is a little tough. But I can't go against my Brewers. I think the Brewers can get it done against the Dodgers, and then you got to face the Braves, and that is something that is just heartbreaking because the Braves lead the league in almost every stat. I have a lot of faith in the Brewers. You're not supposed to sleep on a team like this. They're hot offense coming into the playoffs. It's hard to knock against them because they're a great team. But the Braves are something else, and that is my next thing I'm going to say is the Braves and Orioles are going to be in the World Series. And I got the Orioles winning. I mean, I have a huge soft spot for Baltimore, and I think they're going to be great.
So, I mean, that's an interesting point. I mean, obviously the Braves, best team in baseball. It's really hard to dispute that. With the Brewers, they did get hot at the end of the season. Definitely had the momentum at the right time. But I mean, really, just when it comes to Milwaukee in the playoffs, they have not been able to win a game for quite some time. It really seems like that's just where they always seem to struggle, always overthink it. I feel like it would be more so Astros and Braves, just with a lot of the experience on both sides. At number 3, the NBA has been busy this week as both Damian Lillard and Jrue Holiday have been traded. Lillard was sent from Portland to Milwaukee in a 3-team deal that involved the Suns for Jrue Holiday and draft capital. Holiday was then flipped to the Celtics for Robert Williams and Malcolm Brogdon and draft capital. Nazir, these trades, how does this change the landscape of the Eastern Conference, and who, in your opinion, are the favorites to come out of the East?
Like I said, I couldn't go against my Brewers. I can't go against my Bucks. Giannis is the best player in the league right now, and Damian Lillard is a top 75 player of all time according to the list. And that can be debated another day. But Damian Lillard addition to this team it's something we Bucks fans have been dreaming of since we were little kids. The fact that Jrue Holiday got traded broke my heart a little bit. I wish we got rid of Chris Middleton because he's a little inconsistent. I love Chris, but he costs us some games sometimes. But with the trade going Jrue to Celtics and Dame to the Bucks, it's pretty much Bucks-Celtics Eastern Conference Finals in my opinion. I don't think we have too much to worry about with the Sixers. They haven't changed much. The Heat didn't gain anybody over the course of this offseason. The Hawks are still young. The Cavs are especially young. The Knicks aren't ready. The Bucks and Celtics are the dominant teams in the East, and the West is a little bit more complicated as there's a lot of great teams over there.
Yeah, obviously with the Bucks getting Dame Lillard, that's going to be huge, having like a real strong three-point shooter. Obviously losing Drew Holiday is tough, especially on the defensive side, but the Celtics really are able to make up after losing Marcus Smart this offseason. That's definitely going to help prove dividends in the long haul. But as you said, it really is just them two fighting for the top spot. We've got more coming up on the list, including the success of the Warhawk volleyball and football teams. We'll be right back.
For Hawk Talk, especially on days I'm hosting, you really need to be up early looking at those news stories. Even the night before, I'm finding topics that I can incorporate in the show, and I feel like we get a conversation going.
Once you get the opportunity to do that with other people who appreciate it the same level as you do, it makes it that much more enjoyable.
For everything sports, tune in Monday through Thursday at 91.7 The Edge or watch us on UWW-TV.
Here at UW Whitewater Intramural Sports, we have a motto: a sport for everyone and everyone in a sport.
Come on! Kept it anyways. Oh, she got that off, and they're gonna count it.
Had a blast. Always have fun at intramurals.
Every day we strive to go above and beyond that goal by providing healthy exercise, promoting leisure education, and giving students that competitive atmosphere they are looking for.
Yes! Yes!
It's exciting. Brings me back to those high school days with Friday Night Lights.
With our 25 different intramural sports offered, we guarantee that we have a sport for you. Go to our website and find your sport today.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
As an Army ROTC cadet at Whitewater, you have the opportunity to develop into a great leader while learning and applying the Army values to your everyday life. Within ROTC, you have the chance to travel overseas in the CULP program to train with other militaries, attend many elite Army schools such as Airborne and Combat Diver, and you have the opportunity to attend conferences and guest lectures by some of the Army's top-ranking officers. Our Warhawk cadets participate in many extracurricular activities, Division III sports, Greek life, intramural sports, among many other team building and community service events. Being a cadet at Whitewater is more than just being part of the Army. It's also about being active members in our community and coming together to form a family atmosphere. Anyone who wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves while developing themselves professionally should consider UW Whitewater ROTC. To sign up for UW Whitewater ROTC, go to the 4th floor of McCutcheon Hall to room 417.
Welcome back to the list on UWW-TV. Let's continue the countdown to this week's top sports stories. And number 2, the UW Whitewater football team defeated UW Oshkosh 37-21, moving them to 4-0 on the year. Whitewater had 3 individual scores, rushing touchdowns, and forced 3 interceptions, including one that went back for a touchdown. Nazir, how impressive has this Whitewater football team been, and how far do you see them going once playoffs start?
I'm really impressed with this Whitewater team so far. I'm looking to see Tamir Thomas go off for another game. He's a friend of mine, a former teammate of mine for track. I'm looking to see him do a lot of damage against La Crosse this weekend. These next 2 games are huge, though. La Crosse and then I believe River Falls they travel to. It's going to be a tough one, as those are some top-ranked teams in the nation, and as we are as well. But it all comes down to these 2 games, because La Crosse is not a team to look past, as we beat them by a game-winning touchdown last year, and River Falls is no team to sleep on as well, because they're a top 10 team in the nation right now, and we can't give up right now, because we are the team in the WEAC that deserve to win it all. I believe so, at least, because we've come so far. Those players have put their life into this game, and I don't see anyone really stopping them if they beat these 2 teams, because that proves them to be maybe top 3 in the nation.
Yeah, as you said, with like top-ranked teams, currently Whitewater is number 3 after their victory last week. And last week, I believe, what was it? Oshkosh is ranked 20th now after their loss. I believe they were 14 before. Now La Crosse will be 14th overall. So it's going to be a very similar test. It's going to be a lot of tough competition, but obviously with the legacy they've had, they can continue the success that they've put up so far. And now it's time to reveal our number 1 sports story of the week. The head coach of the Whitewater volleyball team, Stacy Boudreau, claimed her 500th career win, entering her 19th season as head coach of the Warhawks. Boudreau is a 1-time NCAA D3 National Coach of the Year and a 2-time WEAC Coach of the Year. This year, Whitewater has a lot of great coaches, and she is certainly one of them.
I agree. I think she might be maybe top 5 coaches of all time that come through Whitewater for any sport. 500 wins, and she's destroyed pretty much every team in our conference for years on years. I was at the game, and it was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. We swept the team, and the girls congratulated her on the 500th win. Is a huge milestone that some coaches don't even reach in their careers. And it's an honor to be in such a presence of a coach that can get the job done all the time. And 500 wins. Who says she can't get 500 more?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, it's an incredible feat, really. I mean, 19 years of just such consistent success. And just longevity is probably one of the hardest things to really attain within any sport. I mean, 500 wins with any sport, any level, is really just something difficult to reach. And as you said, sweeping their last opponent, I believe their last 4 wins were all sweeps. So obviously, getting the last 4 victories to reach that 500 mark definitely came with a lot of confidence, and they were definitely putting it together. I believe they're 13-2 on the season, so definitely a strong team. They lost to Oshkosh, which is an even tougher team in the WEAC, but it'll be interesting to see how things shake out throughout the rest of the year. And that will do it here for us on this edition of The List. We'll be back next week to talk up the sports headlines. For Nazir Spencer, I'm Alex Monty. See you then.